Hello and welcome back
to Oceaneers Travel Show.
the much delayed edition.
Sorry, guys.
We were on a cruise, if you didn't notice.
Yeah, well, we are fresh. Well, not so fresh anymore, but we have been off of Icon now for a week. And we had full intentions of bringing you guys this podcast and story and video, all that, as soon as we got back home.
Well,
but
actually, we were going to bring you an episode from the ship.
from the ship, that just didn't happen.
Speaking of ship, we
my new ship model.
Robin collects these wonderful things.
Yes. We had
For the
intentions.
low price of...
We had intentions of bringing you a live podcast, video, etc. And, the internet just didn't cooperate with us. So we had to just kind of forego that idea. And
Then we were going to bring you an episode when we got back.
but the flu had different idea.
I got the flu.
Charles had the flu, and some other travel partners of ours also got the flu.
Not the Rona. I tested.
Knock on wood, have not been sick. So hopefully that continues to stay that way. Just been trying to doctor old Charles over here.
I felt a lot better today.
Got him on some medication, and he has done better.
Not 100%, but I'm 80.
Yeah.
Which me at 80 is better than most. Wait, what? Did I say that out loud?
I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
R.I.P.
Yep. Toby.
Oh, Toby.
So anyway, here we are. We are back. We are off Icon of the Seas, and today we are bringing you a full rundown and review. Was it a hit or was it a miss? We will give you everything that we know, as well as wrap up our final thoughts on this magnificent ship. If you've been under a rock, Icon of the Seas is Royal Caribbean's latest and greatest cruise ship. It is a whole new
Icon of the Seas.
Thank you
wanted
for that.
to do that.
It's Royal Caribbean's latest and greatest
That actually
ship.
worked.
And it is a new class of ships, so bringing some new ideas, some new concepts, as well as revamping some old favorites.
Because I'm sure everybody we're talking to right now has never heard of this ship.
Well, some people out there may not know.
We've only been talking about it for 14 months, and this is the last time we're ever talking about this ship.
In any length.
Until next time we go on it.
All right.
So, Icon of the Seas. Achoo! Icon of the Seas. Was it a hit or was it a miss?
So we've got some talking points that we'll go over, and then we'll give you our final verdict.
What was that? Are you getting the flu?
I just am allergic to you.
Just allergic to me.
No, don't do it.
Yeah, I'm allergic to you.
Yeah, you're allergic to me.
I don't know.
So anyway.
So start out
Icon of the Seas, hit or miss?
Let's start out with embarkation.
Hit.
Yeah, hit.
I mean, if you're going to start at the beginning, you're going to talk about the day we arrive at the ship.
Everything was great. We had ants in our pants. Let's just put it that way.
We were there early.
We were there super early. Now, let me touch on this, and this is a little bit of a issue that I thought might be an issue and ended up being not an issue at all, but I'll go ahead and mention it. When you are on a Royal Caribbean ship, 45 days prior to your sailing, your check-in opens up. And usually at midnight, that's when you can go on and select your port arrival time. A lot of ports adhere to this policy. Some ports are a little more lenient, but nevertheless, for the first sailing of this magnificent ship, I wanted to make sure we were some of the first guests on board. So I got online at midnight of whatever day that was and reserved the earliest spot, which was 11 to 11:30. Okay, that went very quick. 11 to 11:30 went very quick. There was not any earlier times other than that. Okay. The other travel party that was with us ended up getting 11:30 to 12. So they were 30 minutes behind us. Okay, that's fine. Fast forward to about a day before, whenever you log in to do your health screening. It's just a couple of questions that says, have you been exposed to COVID-19 in the past 7 days? Blah, blah, blah. You say no to all of those, and then it automatically says you're fit to sail and you're ready to get on board. After that, a few select people were given a purple express pass. And these people were able to join a line that got on before the rest of us. So I was a little perturbed because the people that had gotten a later check-in time than me, that were in our same travel party, our itineraries and everything were completely linked together. They got the express pass. We didn't.
It ended up not mattering.
It ended up not matter at all. Yes, they got let into the terminal before us, but seriously, from the time we got let into the terminal
to the time
we got on the ship was like,
minutes.
10, 20 minutes at most. And at one point, we were all kind of loaded and sat into this holding area before the ship was cleared for us to board. And they were 2 rows over from us.
But that was literally the 10-minute wait was in that holding area.
Yes. Once we got on the ship, everything was fine. So, yes, they got on the ship a second ahead of us, but it wasn't a big deal. You know, in reality.
No, I set my bag down, told her I needed to go to the restroom. By the time I got back from the restroom, they were like,
we're getting on the ship now.
yeah, I mean, it was really that fast. The terminal is beautiful.
The terminal in Miami is absolutely breathtaking.
So, and let's go back just one step. We had an excellent travel day down. Both of our flights were perfect. No problems. No problems with transfers at the Atlanta. Hotel was great the night before.
Everything was fine. We took an Uber to the port. We got out at the port, dropped off our bags with the porters. No issue there.
We took an Uber. Uber was perfect.
And then we just got in line. Yes, we had to. We got there at like 9:15, 9:30. Which is way early, but we were everybody was like, and we were not the only ones there. Trust me. No. There were already hundreds of people already in line. And yes, we had to wait in line for maybe 45 minutes to an hour before they actually opened the terminal.
Maybe. I mean, it didn't feel that long.
It wasn't. Well, we were passing the time, but anyway, once we got into the terminal, there were probably, would you say 40 or 50 check-in agents there waiting on us?
Yeah, I mean,
there were so many check-in agents. And we actually checked in before we went through security. And then once you went through security, you went up another escalator to the holding area and then straight on to the ship. It was fast.
The check-in process was, it was nothing.
Yeah, it was fast.
We walked up, checked in, done through security. The security took longer than the check-in.
Yeah, and that was just putting your bag through a security thing and you're good.
It was 1 hour later.
It was not 1 hour later. Total time, even with the holding area, was maybe 20, 30 minutes before we got on the ship.
Yeah.
So embarkation was smooth. For a brand new ship, for, all these thousands of people that are coming through, was absolutely fine. Flawless. No issues at all. No issues.
We walk onto the ship.
Yeah.
And
I have no words. You come onto the ship in the Royal Promenade, and
right beside or
right flanking the 1400 bar.
Yep.
So on either side there are doors. There's an outdoor patio sitting area, which I knew was there, but when I'm getting on the ship, I didn't even notice.
Well, we were looking straight ahead.
We were just wanting to get in the ship, and there were people there to greet us, and they were jubilant and happy that we were there, and
giving out free champagne.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Granted, that was probably because we were the inaugural.
It was fantastic. And the first thing you see as soon as you enter is the Pearl. And love it or hate it, it's still beautiful and an eye-catching moment there in the promenade. The promenade is wide. There's not a lot of hazards in the middle of the promenade. There's actually no hazards in the promenade.
And when you walk in, granted, again, maybe just because we were the inaugural, but it still had that new car smell.
Oh, it did. It smelled so good.
You know what
it smelled brand new.
The
because
paint, it was. But
you could smell the paint. You could smell the carpet. You could smell everything.
The beds had never been slept in. The dishes.
The china had never been used.
She was the ship of dreams.
And she was. She really was. She'd been our ship of dreams for 14, 15 months.
I mean, so the anticipation was there, and I don't know if that maybe led to us being in awe when we walked on or not.
I purposely had tried to prevent myself from watching the preview stuff and the stuff that was coming out of like the shakedown cruises, just because I wanted to have that first experience for myself, and it did not disappoint. At
No,
all.
I mean,
Because once you first get on, you're just met by this 2-story promenade that doesn't look like you're on a ship at all. It's more like a mall type.
it's like a resort lobby.
Which, if you've been on any of the Oasis class ships, you understand. But this is even in grander of a scale.
Way grander.
And the brightness. The brightness
The
is
colors are not
10 times more.
Yep.
The way that they have allowed the outside light to funnel into the promenade is a fantastic addition. Every cruise ship going forward needs to have that outside sunlight coming in. It just brightens things up so much more. And the color, there's no more of the wood grain, gold and purple and very old Vegas style cruise ships.
It looks
it's all
very
modern
Caribbean.
and
Looks
the
very
colors,
beachy.
It's just
But you walk on and they're giving you out free champagne. They have music playing. Everybody's jovial and in a good mood. And maybe this was just because it was the inaugural sailing, but everybody was so into it. And the whole process from getting to the terminal to the boat was like, I mean, it was literally a snap.
it was
Done.
clockwork. Yeah.
Even better, we're announced. Did they announce it in the terminal or I think they announced it in the terminal.
In the terminal that
The
you can go
rooms
straight
are
to your
ready.
room.
Granted, again, probably because it was the inaugural.
There was nobody on it the night before.
So the rooms were all ready, so we could go straight to our room. We went and did our
mustard.
ketchup and mustard drill.
Ketchup and mustard. Our muster was right on the promenade at the karaoke lounge, and we just walked up and got that out of the way before we ever went to our room.
Then we went straight to our room.
And went to our room and dropped off our bags. And
Question for you before we get to the room.
okay,
When you first walked on the ship, did it meet your expectations that you had built up for 14 months in your head?
it exceeded them.
It did. See, I had watched some of the videos, and even they did not do justice
It exceeded my expectations.
to the grandeur that you...
I
Videos cannot, none of the videos that you will see on YouTube can actually do justice to the size and scope of this ship.
yeah, I expected.
Big.
Yes, I expected big. But also, having experienced several Oasis class ships, I still felt like they were going to stay on course with a lot of the Oasis class layout. And I didn't expect there to be so much more space.
No.
I don't know if that was a strategic plan, because in reality, this ship is only about 25,000 tons more than Wonder of the Seas, which is the second largest ship currently.
But it feels even bigger.
But it feels more spacious than that. Like the promenade is so large, and it's 2-story, so it's deck 6 and deck 5. But you can move from part to part. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, you can move all the way from the side all the way to the other side, and easily, and you can see the edge of the ship to the edge of the ship. Whereas on Oasis classes, it's more boxed in, and you're just kind of flanked by shops on both sides. The ability to go outdoors from the promenade was a huge plus. And the shops were done in such a way that it didn't overpower what was going on.
They were kind of tucked away.
Yeah, they were just not an afterthought, but they weren't in your face. Whereas a lot of times you'll be strolling on the promenade on the other ships, and you've got like watches lining the middle of the street.
Did not see a lot of that.
There was not any of that. Yes, you had a watch shop, but you had a watch shop over here. You had your, your beauty and your perfumes over here. You had your duty-free liquor over here. You had your
but everything had a
logo
spot.
shop
It wasn't
over here.
You weren't having to navigate around people selling you stuff, and you weren't tripping. Like normally when you get on a cruise ship, Right when you get on board, you have all the people there with, hey, drink packages, hey, dinner packages, hey, you know,
There wasn't
excursion desk, photo pack. There was none of that.
They had people around that had, different vests on that said, ask me about this, ask me about
But
that.
they weren't in your face
No, they
like
weren't
they
in
are
your
on some
face.
cruise lines that we have
Don't
been
know
on.
if that's going to be the norm or if that'll change.
Again, a lot of this could be different.
But yes, it was very, very wonderful.
Now, if you wanted those things, they were easy to find and access,
Yes.
but they were not thrust
No.
upon you.
All right. What should we talk about next? Do you want to talk about the room? Do you want to talk about
one more thing, though? Again, as I said, the size, the scope of this ship, you can watch all the YouTube videos you want. It's not going to do it justice. You will not be able to even fathom the size of this ship. So, moving on. Like I said, the rooms were ready, so we went to our room.
Yes.
We had done the royal upgrade. We were originally in just a regular ocean view balcony.
Yes. And we upgraded to an infinite ocean view balcony. Now, if you don't know what an infinite ocean view balcony is, it's basically you have the option of having a enclosed room, or you have a automatic button you can push and half of the window will open, creating a balcony per se.
I was a little skeptical of this. I did not know what to expect. Again, some of the videos that I had seen on YouTube were disappointing. It did not make it look that appealing. Boy, was I wrong. Oh my Lord, was I wrong.
When you go up to the door and you open your cabin, the room stewards have it set up for a reason. When you open that cabin door, you have a straight line view to the outside.
And it's like a picture window lining
Yes.
the overlook in Miami, where you just...
It was fantastic.
It was
And
breathtaking. It was really breathtaking.
you add that additional square footage to your usable space
Which
interiorly,
we used.
which we really use that extra space. So you don't, there's no door to open to get to your balcony. It's just completely open from the time you get to the door to the bathroom, all the way past the bed. There's no real gradient. There's just extra space. And then your infinite balcony that you can sit there and use it. I like to use it as a sunroom because I'm sitting there, the sun's coming in. I've still got the air conditioning going, but I can watch the water. I can watch it just like I'm sitting on the balcony, but I'm not.
And you can put it up and down as many times as you want.
And
the shade at night.
The shade. You can put that shade completely down, and it was as dark as any interior room we've ever had.
With the shade down, you could take a nap in the middle of the day in the dark.
Yes, it was.
Where you can't do that on a regular balcony.
No, those the curtains don't make it light tight. Light tight. But that shade definitely was a game changer. Yeah, so
if you know, you know.
The bed was great. Our situation was the bed was by the balcony and the sofa was closest to the
which I prefer.
Bathroom, and
I prefer.
Our cabin slept 3.
Now,
So.
This is where I will say on my part that I hit the first. First.
What?
2 things. Number 1, I do not like the couch bed situation. Personally. I felt that, and again, it may have just been our situation, but I felt like it could have been bigger. I would have liked to have seen it pull out and fold out in some way to where it felt more like a bed instead of she was just sleeping on a couch. No, it was comfortable. She didn't complain, but she's 11 years old. You know, she was a teenager. She might have complained more. So I would have liked to have seen them have that to where it could actually pull out. Second complaint with that for me, and these are small things. Ours was made up and it was just left made up the whole week, which then you could not sit on it as a couch. Really, I mean, you could, but it didn't feel like a couch.
I agree with that somewhat. You have to take all of the accessory pillows off the couch in order to make it up
And then
into a
those
bed.
blocked the closet.
Yeah, and then the only real place to put those is by the closet,
which made it
you
hard to
could
open.
put them under the bed, but under the bed was where we stored our suitcases,
Which
you
is
really
where most people store their
couldn't
suitcases.
put them there. So it was a constant back and forth of having to move the pillows to open the closet, to have to put the closet back, put the pillow back. It made a little bit. I mean, yeah, it was an inconvenience. It wasn't that big of a deal.
No means a deal breaker.
That goes back to the fact that Royal is not servicing your rooms twice a day anymore. You choose morning service or evening turn down service. And if
I didn't even know we got a choice in that.
if you don't really select anything, then you'll automatically kind of get the morning midday service where they'll come in and make everything up, give you fresh towels, that type of thing. So yeah, they're only servicing one time of day. Now, the first day when we got on the ship, we had to actually call someone at midnight to come and make our room up, or the couch into a bed.
That was going to
because
be my next complaint.
that was a little bit concerning. That
Our room steward,
he was.
he wasn't. He was friendly. He was nice. He was very polite. He was very.
But there were several things that we had to ask
He
for.
was not very good at his job. Again, new ship. Maybe he's new.
Could be.
Give him the benefit of the doubt.
We had to ask for the bed to be turned down, and then, it stayed that way for the entire week that we were on there. I had to ask for soap to be put in the dispenser in the shower because it was running low and almost out.
When we got on board, our safe was locked.
And it took 2 days to get that fixed.
So I did not like that at all. But
there was just little things
Again.
in the stateroom, but the stateroom itself was well appointed,
clean.
lots of USBs. There was USB-C. There was regular outlets.
Love where they've moved the TV to.
The TV's right in front of the bed now.
Where it used to be on that little tilt that you kind of had to. Mm-hmm. Then you couldn't get by it if you wanted to go.
Lots of shelf space. Lots of. I like the way the rooms have been laid out.
Other than I wish that they would have thought a little bit more about the couch design.
Now, the couch in different rooms does pull out into a full-size bed. So it just kind of depends on if your room sleeps 3, if it sleeps 4, etc. Just keep that in mind that some couches do convert.
Now, did any of these things affect our enjoyment of our room?
No.
No. I still enjoyed our room. We still had a great time.
Yes, it's just little bitty things. So what do you want to talk about next?
So that was our room. We did that. What did we do next?
We can talk about. You want to talk about dining as a whole, or
Did
you
we
want to
go?
talk
Did
about?
we go to the Windjammer next, or did we go to Kids Club? We went and one or the other. I can't
think
remember
we
which one.
ate first.
All right, so we went to the Windjammer, and the absolute best Windjammer I have seen on any cruise ship ever.
Yeah, and that's not just because of the types of food that they offer.
No.
The layout of the Windjammer was
Although,
excellent.
let's talk about the food on the first day now. We can't just jump right past that. Again, probably because it was an inaugural sailing, we hopped on that bad boy, went up to the Windjammer. Lobster. Yep.
lobster on the buffet, filet
Filet,
mignon on the
crab
buffet.
legs.
Yep, shrimp, prawns.
You're probably not getting that on the second cruise.
No,
But
lots of fish options.
ice sculptures, a whole icon thing made out of cupcakes. Yeah.
And the way they've done the Windjammer on this ship is there are 2 separate sides.
The layout.
And they only converge at the beginning. So after you do washi and you decide you want to go right or left, and then once you go right or left, there's the possibilities are endless. So there's really no need to go back and forth to the other side because yes, there are some changes to the cuisine on either side, but most of it is the same.
It's similar.
Or similar. So
But the way that they've split this up, that's one thing that this ship has done a fantastic job of.
is moving
crowd
people
control.
around. Yeah.
They have figured out a way to steer people different directions without specifically steering people different
Yes.
directions.
Yes.
Like there's nobody telling you go left, go right. You choose. But because of the way that it's laid out, it disperses Because I
Very
was
well.
concerned with this many people on a ship that it was going to be a problem. It wasn't.
Never one time did we ever have an issue getting around.
Now, duly
There's-
noted.
We've got a couple of, issues with accessibility that we'll talk about in a little bit.
And also
But
an asterisk to that. It
our
was not
cruise was not at full capacity.
by choice.
So that was Royal's doing. They limited this first sailing to about 4,900 guests, 2,300 crew. So that is about 3,000 shy of max capacity. So keep that in mind that all of our experiences are going to be limited to that. They are purposely holding back capacity just to give the crew time to adjust. Because you can't just dump 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 people on a crew at one time and expect them to be able to handle it. So they said through the end of March that it would be capped at about 6,600. And then by summer, they hope to have it up to full capacity. So keep that in mind if you are traveling.
But from what I saw of the layout, I don't suspect that that's going to change too much.
No, because there were even at times on this week of cruising where we looked at each other and we were like, where's everybody? Because you'd be on the pool deck with 5 other people. And that is just unheard of. Even with 5,000 people on board, you should see more people than that. So
But
the disbursement is key.
excellent.
Yes.
Plenty of washing stations. Never had to wait to wash your hands. You did that, went straight through the buffet. Never stood in line at the buffet for anything for any length of time.
No. And if you needed a refill, there were people working there that could get you a refill. I
the
like the
food.
way that they've done the beverage stations. There's a lot of options. There's coffee, tea, lemonade, fruit punch, all that stuff is available.
But they also have a bar in there.
They have a bar inside on each side of the Windjammer,
And a
plus
freestyle.
2 freestyle machines on each side of the Windjammer that were working. So that's another plus if you have your cups. So I really can't say enough good things about the Windjammer.
Excellent layout.
We did several meals in the Windjammer, mostly breakfasts and some lunches, but fantastic layout, fantastic food.
The food was delicious.
Across the board, the food was good. We're not picky people, but we've had some less than stellar experiences in the past. This was stellar from start to finish.
So then we went to the kids club.
Kids Club is great on this ship. So it's located on deck 6 in the aft. So it's underneath the Surfside neighborhood. So you get there, go down to deck 6, you'll go forward, and then to the right, it'll go down a long hallway. You'll have the babies area, the juniors area, and then there'll be a theater, and then back into the hangout. The hangout is where our daughter was at. It encompasses 6 to 12-year-olds.
It's massive.
And it is huge. There's a whole main area when you first walk in that's got bigger than life, like board games. There's like a standing Connect 4. And then it's lined with TVs. And that's where they can sit and play video games if they want.
I think they had Nintendo Switches is what they had.
I think they had Switch games. Then you keep going back, and there's 2 interactive tabletops where you can have 4 people at a time playing different things and doing different things. Adjacent to that, connected to the hangout, was a lab where they could go in and do crafts, science experiments, whatever was going on at the time. And then down from that, again, connected to the same area, was a whole arena, a big area where they were
Huge.
playing gaga ball and dodgeball and all kinds of different stuff. More active games in there. And what she liked about it the most was that it was not structured. She could do whatever she wanted whenever she wanted. There was always an active game going on that she could join in on. There was always some kind of craft, some like a little something that she could do in the lab area. Or she could go join in a video game or a board game or sit quietly by herself.
But the fact that you could do whatever you want, she likes that. She likes the freestyle ability. So that was a big plus for her.
She ended up spending, 5 out of 7 evenings in there, I think.
Yeah. I don't remember what we did after that.
After that, I think we went...
Probably 8. Again.
Again, no, we went to the pool for a while.
That's right. We did.
We did go to the pool for a while. And
It was warm.
it was surprisingly, it was a warm day in Miami, but the pool was warm. At least the Royal Bay pool, which is the largest pool at sea. And
That's the one we kind of gravitated to the whole
Yes.
trip. We did try some of the others, but this was the main one that we used.
If you are going on Icon of the Seas and you have children of the age of swimming age that are potty trained,
This is your home.
this is where you'll be. The Royal Bay pool is really the only active pool that can be used for swimming. There are 7 pools on Icon of the Seas. However, only the Royal Bay pool is really appropriate for swimming.
For kids, I mean,
Yeah, the rest of the pools are going to be
lounge
wading pools.
Yeah.
Really.
Now, this again, we're trying to be positive here, and overall, the experience was great. The pools, to me, could be an issue. There's a lot of them.
Yes. There's a lot of them, but usability and space-wise,
And I get why they
Maybe.
did it.
they again for disbursement.
Disbursement of people.
On I keep going back to the Oasis class ships just because it's the only thing that we have to kind of compare this to. You have 4 pools on the same deck. That's their main pool deck. And you have 4 different pools
On
that
Oasis.
you can choose from on that same deck, typically.
You're talking about Oasis.
I'm talking
not
about
Icon.
Oasis.
Okay.
On Icon, they have 7 different pools, but it's different decks.
Yeah.
So, the Royal Bay pool is their midship deck 15, where you consider a typical Lido deck. And it's large. There's lots of seating.
Never had a problem getting a seat anywhere we wanted to sit.
But then on the other side of deck 15, there's a small pool called the Cove Pool. And it's more smaller, laid back. Again, just kind of get in and sit and wait or stand or whatever.
Yeah, it's
But it does overlook a little bit of the side of the ship. It's not the traditional infinity style, but it's close enough.
Barely waist high though.
But it's barely, it's waist deep. So it's
And
not
really small.
Is it very small? And then you have the Swim and Tonic, which is a deck higher on deck 16.
We did see it. We never
Again,
got in it, but it is
small.
about waist high.
Waist high.
And that was the pool that I noticed was crowded the most, probably because of the swim up bar.
Mm-hmm.
But it stayed pretty packed, and it was all people just standing around drinking. Nothing wrong with that. Not saying anything, but that's going to be one of your drinking party pools.
The Swim and
in
Tonic.
addition with the Hideaway.
The Cloud 17 is on deck 17, but again, it's small. It's basically just a standing waiting pool.
It is long.
But there's no real. You can't swim in it. You can't actively swim in it.
If you were the only person in it, you could use it as a lap pool.
maybe I don't even know if it was deep enough to do that.
It was. I got in it, and it was fine. But it's only a little over waist high. So that to me is a concern. Is the pools
Yeah.
other than the Royal Bay pool, which is fantastic.
And it's large enough for your kiddos.
lot.
But, in the dead of summer, when you have so
full
many
boat.
kids in a full boat, it's going to be crowded. We had 500 kids under the age of 18 on our ship. So
I think that they're hoping, though, that a lot of the younger kids
we'll go to the Surfside area.
will go to the Surfside area. But that pool, too, the splash area there was great, but the pool itself was not very good.
It was very small. And back there, you don't get a lot of sunlight.
But the way that they made it look in the digital renderings and the pictures, that all these pools were really big.
And they just aren't.
And none of them are, other than the Royal Bay is pretty good size. Even the Hideaway, which they did change at the last minute to the adults only. Because up until, a week before sailing, it was not adults only. It should be adults only. I agree with the change. But it's not big.
No, it's very small too.
Great view.
It's bigger than some of the other ones, not as big as the Royal Bay, but it's waist deep. And from, the edge of the infinity wall to the steps is maybe 10 feet.
Yeah, it's small.
maybe. If you've watched some of our videos, we did have some footage of that. Now it is, the views from there are fantastic,
Oh,
but
incredible.
it's a standing drinking pool. It's,
And it had a good vibe. I mean, if you're into that,
it's got a DJ and
he was a good DJ. But if you're
Lots of
into that
seating.
party vibe, I
Yeah.
can totally see that being your spot.
absolutely. The Splashaway Bay area
How-
is directly down below from there.
Yeah.
And because of that huge hideaway overhang, it creates a constant shade on the Splashaway Bay Surfside area. So that area never really gets sun.
Yeah.
Never. And it was cold.
Yeah.
It was really cold.
And again, that pool is tiny.
Yes.
If you're trying to get, I'm assuming that is meant for kids 6 to 8 years old max.
I think they are playing it off of like 6 and under. But if you are a family and
You have a
as
6-year-old.
parents, you want to be able to get in the pool with your child, that's limited, very limited.
Yeah, if you got a 6-year-old, you're wanting them to play on the Splashaway Bay and play in that pool to keep them off of the Royal Bay pool. You're not going to stay down there as a parent because there's nowhere for you to go. I would like to see them make that pool bigger and add some hot tubs. Then you'll keep the kids there.
Yeah, there's no hot tub option in Surfside.
They need a hot tub or two.
Yeah.
And that pool needs to be bigger to separate that, and that will relieve crowds from the upper decks.
I think so. We rarely ever saw Surfside have a crowd in it. Actually, never. When we were down in the Surfside area, it was like a ghost town. I mean, there were maybe 5 kids in the splash zone area, period. And I didn't see many babies at all.
Again, that could have been the time of the year.
It could have been. And the fact that we didn't have that many people on our sailing,
Correct.
I do understand that.
So what other pool do we need to talk about? The hot tubs, there was plenty of hot tubs. And they were never crowded. The bar service was great at them. All the hot tubs that we experienced.
Yes. And some select hot tubs on this ship are open 24 hours.
Which was nice.
Which was nice because we went at 10 o'clock one night and was able to just sit in a hot tub by ourselves.
One caveat, the margarita glass hot tub, I forgot what that one's called. It's the one that's shaped like a margarita
It's
glass.
next to Cloud 17.
Big hot tub, very nice, very comfortable. No shade whatsoever. So take that for what it is. If you're one of those that loves sitting in the full sun, that's your jam. I was looking forward to it. Got in it. Wasn't for me. I need a little bit of shade.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
So, yeah, the activities on the ship are, endless. And
Oh my Lord.
we did do the Category 6 water park. Elena, our daughter, has done every single slide. We both partook in the family raft rides. There's 2 family raft rides. There's the Storm Surge and something else. They're green and magenta,
I loved
and
them.
they were fantastic.
They nailed this. I mean, when they said it was actually a water park at sea, they ain't lying on this one. This is a water park. I mean,
Yes,
They
it is
nailed it.
full-fledged. And they are, it's beautiful. The colors, the vibrancy, everything on this ship,
The
the
layout
colors
of
are
it.
just amazing. But yeah, I mean, you think about being on a cruise ship and the way they've forced everything up with these. I mean, you can go from one slide to the other, to the other, to the other very seamlessly.
and the renderings do not do it justice. It is a massive water park.
It is 6 different slides.
And they're not short slides. Some of these last quite a while.
Yes.
So
I got to do
Perfect.
the magenta family ride with Elena, and I was floored. It was so much fun. It was just me and her in the raft. You can fit up to 4 people. There is a weight limit, as there is for the other green family slide. I think you can only put 3 in there, and there is a weight limit. And they will weigh you at the top, so don't think that you can just go with whatever.
and lose your
but-
jewelry, lose your cameras.
Yeah,
They're
you
not letting you,
can't-
they don't want these rafts popped, so they're not letting anything.
Nothing. All your rings, your earrings.
Forget
if
about the GoPro.
Apple Watches have to go. everything on your person. No shoes. Everything has
So
to go.
I'm sure that there's going to be some videos of people sneaking stuff on there. Fine, whatever. But they're not allowing it. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it was fantastic. Enjoyed that a lot. I only did the water slides the first day. My daughter did them multiple days.
Yeah. I mean,
But I'm not huge on that stuff.
it never was really crowded. Even on C days, there really
No.
wasn't. But again, there wasn't that many people.
And it's included.
yeah, 100% included.
For now.
100%
I can
included.
see them changing that in the future and charging for it. I hope they don't. But
There is one flow rider that you can partake in on
that's
the
kind
ship.
of died off over the last couple of years. Though.
It's there. It was kind of an afterthought. I really didn't.
I never even saw it.
I saw it once, and I mean, it really wasn't one of those things that I went seeking out.
People still do it, but when they first put them on cruise ships, they were a huge thing. Now I don't think they're as big as they were.
Yeah, I mean,
Kind of died off a little bit.
kind of died off. Well, with the addition of the water park, there's really not a need for that many more. Like,
So maybe that's what they're
things to
counting
do.
on is that the kids are going to go to the slides and the kids are going to go to the.
and then there's the mini golf. Mini golf was really cool.
Never got to do it. I wanted to.
The base camp option that is a half complimentary, half purchase.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good concept to have something back there in the back that you can easily get to. What was that?
That's how I feel about it. It's whatever.
It's fine. I don't feel like they should charge for some of the things they charge for.
They shouldn't charge for anything there.
We got cheese curds and they were $7 and they were just not worth it. We got some pretzel bites with cheese.
They were free.
And they were complimentary and they were fine.
But they sell hamburgers. Why would you buy a hamburger from there when you can go get a hamburger from
The Windjammer.
And it's not any kind of special hamburger that I'm aware of. It's just a hamburger.
It's just convenience if you don't want to go.
This should be a complimentary establishment.
I agree. They have Surfside Bites down in Surfside that is a complimentary like shack that you can just walk up and get
It was good.
a burger, hot dogs, pizza,
The churros.
churros.
The churros were good.
I don't know why this concept of base camp isn't the same thing.
Yeah,
it should be the same
it just
thing.
didn't make sense.
No, I didn't see a whole lot of people buying stuff at base camp, and I do think that maybe as newer renditions come out, that this might end up being a complimentary eatery down
Also
down
up
the way.
there is the milkshake.
Deserted. We did not.
We went in. We didn't purchase.
We didn't have a drink.
I don't like alcohol in my milkshakes.
No,
Just gonna say it.
and they had regular milkshakes that you could purchase, but they were like $9
Yeah.
for a little milkshake, and I just didn't feel like it was worth it. Typically on other ships, if you have the drink package or drink vouchers, you can go to Johnny Rockets and that stuff's included. It's not.
But there's just
on Icon.
Why pay $9 for a milkshake there when one deck down there's sprinkles?
Unlimited soft serve ice cream. So yeah, just didn't
Just didn't make
feel that
sense.
vibe. So
It was a neat place. It wasn't for me.
no.
However, on the I guess it was deck 15 where the Royal Bay pool is,
El Loco Fresh.
Daddy found his jam.
El Loco Fresh is typical Mexican fare, but it is on the pool deck, so no need to dry off.
Probably my second favorite thing on Icon of the Seas.
Oh yeah,
El Loco Fresh. I could literally eat them steak tacos
they were fantastic.
every single day for lunch.
Yes, they were wonderful. El Loco Fresh was great. Grab and go Tex-Mex food, toppings bar, you name it, they had it.
The burritos were good. The quesadillas were good. The
Everything
steak
was good.
tacos were definitely a hit.
Excellent.
Give me three of them steak tacos and a margarita from the bar right there beside it. We good to go.
There were bars everywhere. That's one good thing
Oh, yeah.
about Icon of the Seas is they have no shortage of bars. Their lime and coconut is like 3 levels. I mean, you can get lime and coconut drinks anywhere. And of course they can make cocktails to your liking no matter where too. But also on deck 16 there is a frozen bar where you can get like
Never even
frozen
made it.
stuff.
I saw
we
it.
never even made it there.
But it looked good.
But fantastic. Also, everywhere you turn was a towel station,
Yes.
which was excellent idea. No matter which pool you were at or what side of the ship you were at, there was a towel station right there. You
And
could
that-
grab a towel.
And those big net things that you could lay them
The
on.
seating options, there was a seat for everyone. No need for chair hogs, no need to worry about that. There were different seating options, whether it was a lounger or these net
I
like
crawled up
bungee
on that and
things.
took a nap.
There were
And it was
regular type chairs that you could sit in.
There's
There were-
loungers in the pool.
yeah, just so many different choices.
They nailed it on the seating.
You
on
will
the pool
never have to
deck.
worry about getting a chair on the pool deck,
The best bartenders I have ever seen on a cruise ship. They
bar none.
The drinks were mixed to absolute perfection at every single bar.
Yeah,
Just brilliantly done, delicious, perfect, and plentiful.
yes, that goes overall for the overall service of the ship. Everyone, now I know we were the first guests there, and you'll get burnout eventually towards the end of your contract, but everyone was attentive.
Other than our room steward.
Everyone, yes, everyone was welcoming and eager to chat, which is kind of a new concept. Typically it's just like, what do you need? Here you go. Bye. But no, they was like dancing and having fun with you and talking to you. And
Again,
it was just
may
really cool.
just be because it was an inaugural. That may change over time.
Yes.
But these are our experiences.
Yes. Let's get back a few and just talk about some additional food options that we partook in.
There's so many.
There's so many, I know. The main dining room, the menus don't really change because fleet-wide they have adopted this kind of new menu issue, but everything I had was great.
And the main dining room was delicious, except for my complaint. And this is just me. This isn't her complaining about this. I do not like the new menus. I'm fine. The theme nights that you have, an Italian night, a Mexican night, a Mediterranean night,
Whatever.
they were all theme nights. That's fine. But they've taken away the classics completely. I feel like you needed to leave those, especially if you're going to do theme nights. Because what if somebody just doesn't like Mexican food? What if somebody not an Italian fan? It was never a problem for me, but I could see it being a problem for other people. So I would like to see a couple staples that are there every day.
And keep in mind, they do have a kids menu that you can order off of. So if you're looking for mac and cheese or a hamburger or even like chicken tenders, you can do that.
And they do have the chops option available, and you can always go to the Windjammer. But I'm just strictly talking about the main dining room. I'd like to see them have some, your salmon that you can get every night, your chicken that you can get basic stuff.
Yeah, I didn't have an issue. There was always something on there. And if you didn't like the first thing, they would bring you a secondary choice. So I thought it was great.
I didn't care for the theme part of it.
Okay.
I'm fine with the theme part of it if you kept
We understand.
some regular staples.
We hear you. Now, move on.
No, I'm not going to move on. I'm talking to you, Royal. Listen up.
We also, there's a new buffet down in Surfside Eatery. It's smaller scale.
It was
and
nice.
They do have some things that are just geared towards the kiddies. So they did have like dino nuggets, which was cool, and some other stuff. And they did have a soft serve ice cream down there at Surfside as well. So that was good to see that they are, again, dispersing people and you could eat there. That place was never busy, by the way.
Surfside has done a good job of keeping the kids there. Now, if they can keep the kids' parents there,
Yeah.
you'll eliminate the problem. It was well designed for kids
Yes.
with your arcade and your sweet shops and all that right there. They didn't think about the parents of the kids that are going to be there with
Well,
them too
there's
much.
a bar there too. So
Again, the hot tubs in the pool. You fix that problem, you'll have a whole zone for those people.
we also partook in the Aquadome Market. This was a fantastic.
Now we get to my number one favorite thing on Icon of the Seas.
Yes. Go ahead and say it.
Crepes.
So Aquadome Market is the food hall concept that is new to Royal Caribbean and Icon of the Seas, Icon Class.
Brilliant.
They have 5 different food stations. There's a Toast and Garden, which is like sandwiches and salads. There's a Ginger, G-N-G-R, that is more Asian type cuisine. There's Feta Mediterranean, which is like pitas and was there falafel there?
No, it's gyros.
Gyros. However you say it.
that? I've never had one before this trip. It was good.
It was good. There was a mac and cheese bar, and then you had creme de la crepe. That was absolutely fantastic.
The layout of this place is fantastic. The location of it is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The crepes are so good.
The crepes were the star of the show. He had a was like vanilla custard and caramel sauce.
Yeah. Salted caramel.
Salted caramel, and it was so good. And then I had a Nutella with strawberries. Oh, gosh.
I could literally eat these every day. This place is a hit.
Very much
I'm
a
waiting
hit.
for them to charge for it.
You're waiting for them to charge for everything.
Well, I could totally see this being a charge item.
It was really, really good. We also went to the Pearl Cafe. Pearl Cafe is what you would consider like the cafe promenade, where you can get coffees and some snack type options. We did not eat a lot of stuff here. They had cookies and some
But
desserts.
what we did have was good.
I've heard everyone talk about the biscuits in the morning are really good. We did not have those, but if
They
we
do
go
have
back,
some grab and go options.
looked really, really nice.
So, and the location and view from there is
Oh
super.
gosh, super cool place to come just hang out and sit, or to maybe do some work.
I wished I'd have went there earlier because we could have done our video editing from there with a much better view than doing it in our room.
And maybe better connection. I don't know,
Maybe.
because there's a lot of people up there on their computers, so that may have been a catch. We also went to the first night. We went to Azumi. Azumi is an upcharge restaurant. It's teppanyaki, where they cook in front of you. Traditional Japanese steakhouse.
We had done it on another boat to
It was meh. Yeah, we didn't really care for it. This time,
Much
loved
better.
it. Wonderful. 100% would go back. The
Steak
food was
was
great.
delicious.
The rice was great. Everything was great.
And
I
the
didn't care
performance.
for the dessert, but it was traditional Japanese dessert. I just didn't care for it.
mine was fine, but I got
You got the chocolate cake thing.
it was good.
I ended up with some kind of rice ball that was filled with bean something.
Yeah,
It was
I don't
not
want
good.
beans for my dessert.
It was great. The chef was wonderful. And we also, the last night, went to Chops.
Without a doubt, the best. We've been to Chops on just about every ship we've been on.
Yes. But
The
this
best
one,
Chops I've ever been to.
This one was the cream of the crop.
The steak was cooked to absolute
It is.
perfection.
We were able to get a couple of different entrees for the table as well, just to try some shrimp.
Delicious.
They were delicious. So
Lobster bisque.
highly recommend Chops. It was fantastic.
And its location.
An upcharge. It's in Central Park, so keep that in mind that it does cost extra.
But its location in Central Park, they've really updated Central Park with moving the jazz club there and the restaurants there, Azumi there.
It's a whole vibe.
Yeah, it's a nice place now. It's always been a nice place, but we did not get the roast beef this time.
We did not. We didn't
just
even make it
didn't have
into
time.
Park Cafe. There's just so much to do. You don't make it to everywhere.
That is one downside to this ship.
There's a lot to do.
You cannot do it all.
Nope.
It is. There's so many eateries, so many shows, so many.
It's yeah. One thing we
That's
did
a good
do,
problem.
late night pizza. Not that it's just late night. It's any time of day pizza, but Sorrento's on this ship was another level. They have so many more options because it is such a big ship. They,
I had
typically
barbecue chicken pizza,
barbecue chicken pizza.
and it was, which you normally don't get at Sorrento's. Fantastic.
yeah, wonderful.
The pepperoni was good. The cheese was good, though. And they have 2 freestyle machines at Sorrento's also.
Yeah, there's freestyle machines just about everywhere.
A lot
There's
more
one in
frequent.
Aquadome Market. There's some on Surfside. I mean, there's just
Which if you-
freestyle everywhere.
Been on other ships, you know that sometimes that's an issue is finding them.
Yes, and that they work. So hopefully these stay operational longer. He mentioned shows. So let's go ahead and talk about shows and entertainment while we're on that topic. Some of the best shows I've ever seen on a cruise ship, bar none.
No, the absolute best
The
show
best show
that I've ever seen on any cruise ship.
ever.
This show would rival a Broadway production in New York City.
Yes.
It was that good.
You're talking about Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. Oh, my Lord. The girl, I don't know her name. Whoever is the Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz on this ship, she is so talented. Mm-hmm. Monstrously talented.
The whole cast.
The
is
whole cast,
amazing,
but she really stuck out to me.
I mean, they had the flying monkeys. They had the house landing on the witch. I mean,
sets.
They were wonderful. And the actors, the way they portrayed the different characters, and the munchkins weren't actually munchkins. It was kind of a different spin on that. But I mean,
would I give this show 5 stars? No, I would give it 10.
10 stars.
I mean, I was moved by this show. This show is...
It's epic. It's epic.
Epic is the word for this show.
It is epic.
Congrats
it's a
to you,
must-do.
Royal Caribbean. You... Unbelievable.
Yes.
You killed it with this show.
And a close second, like mere meters away from level of greatness and
Elemental.
The Starburst Elemental Beauty, the ice show. I would have watched this show every single day if I could have. It was spectacular. It's a take on the elements. The Absolute Zero is the new ice arena. It's in the round. They had this guy that wasn't even a skater. He was more of a...
He's a juggler, performer.
And yeah, he was just a performer, but he kind of seemed like the leader of this pack of people.
He was incredible.
Oh my gosh. Just the way that they use light and projections. They put projections on the ice, so the ice never looked white. It was always projected with something. It was outstanding. Outstanding.
The lighting
I was
effects,
mesmerized.
the smoke effects, the music, the sound system, everything was absolutely amazing in this
That's
whole
a must see as well.
One small complaint about Absolute Zero, there are some, and there's nothing they can do about it, but there are some issues with the poles.
Yeah, I mean, because it's in a round, depending on where you sit, you will have like 5 poles in your view.
So if you go, try to get in the first 2 or 3 rows.
Yeah, get there early and get the best seat.
Yeah, because the poles can be an obstruction issue.
Yes. Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it. You're on a cruise ship. It is what it is. But the show's excellent.
Other show that they have,
the other major show,
is Aqua Action, which is the Aqua Show. They have moved the Aqua Theater to the front of the ship, and it's great too. The show is great.
The show is great. 2 caveats about this place.
The Aqua Theater itself is very, very small.
There's smaller than on the OSS class.
Not a lot of seating, and the seating
sucks. I'm sorry, Royal. Come on, man. You nailed it. Almost everything else on this boat. The seating in the Aquadome is horrendous.
You need to get to the Aquadome early to get a good seat for this show. To get a seat, period.
There is no good seats for this show.
Well,
you're talking about view
location.
The seats suck.
That's what I'm getting at. It's like you have to get there so early to get a seat, and then by the time you've sat there for 10 minutes, you're ready to leave because it's so uncomfortable. It's all bench seating, but they are wooden and they are slatted, and they kind of do like a wave motion.
Yeah.
So your legs,
they look beautiful.
Will be, your thighs are sitting higher than your butt. And I guess, I don't know. Maybe they did that to like, if they're splashing or something. Now there are a few sprinkled seats available, but those are very hard to get. And a lot of times they'll be reserved by the genies that sprinkle around stuff for like the sweet guests and things.
Listen to me, Royal. I'm talking to you, baby. This day and age, there is zero excuse not to have seat backs on every single chair. Now, does it have to be individual seats with seat backs? No. You can put a back on the bench. You need seat backs on every single chair.
Yeah, this was just way uncomfortable.
I done hit the windjammer 8 times before this show, okay? The humidity had done made my clothes shrink.
Yeah.
I need a seat back. My belly hurt.
It was not comfortable at all.
The show was fantastic, but it almost made me leave the show because these seats were so bad.
They were uncomfortable. Very much so.
The rest of the theater is great. No problem. Wonderful.
Yeah, everything else was fine.
This is something you should fix on future ships. You should have thought about it on this one. I don't know how you dropped the ball on this, but you dropped the ball on this.
One of the very few things.
But the show itself, the aerial performance
was wonderful. Yeah, it was the best part.
Those two performers were incredible. It
way
was really moving.
It was moving. Like how you can be suspended in the air and still make us feel things. It was excellent. Yeah, it was great. I can't say enough good things. The shows overall, and I know there's more shows to come, but you need to go see these shows. 100% worth it. 100%.
Just, yeah. And there was a hooked market in the Aquadome. We did not get a chance to try it. I wanted to. Again.
You just had to pick and choose.
I could go back on this ship again for a whole nother week and still not do it all.
Yeah. Getting on and off the ship at ports of call was super easy. They have an escalator in the middle of the promenade, and it goes down to deck 4, so you can get to the casino that way. And then the escalator continues to go down to deck 2, which is the gangway to get off and on the ship. Easy breezy way to get on and off. Wonderful. So can't say enough about that. The ports were just a-okay. I mean, they're Caribbean ports.
We didn't get off in St. Thomas.
St. Thomas port day was very short, so
and we overslept.
Yeah, we were sleeping.
We've been to St. Thomas before. Megan's Bay is beautiful. If you go to Megan's Bay. St. Kitts, we did a
catamaran and a rail. It was a rail-in sail.
The catamaran sail part of it was 5
great.
Stars.
The rail was just meh.
Way too long.
It was a little rickety old train.
And it was too long.
It was very long. But still.
And uncomfortable.
What else should we talk about?
The service was great overall. The ports of call. St. Kitts, I could just really take or leave. She liked it more than I did. I just didn't see anything special about it. Maybe I did the wrong thing. That is possible.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. Didn't love it.
I'll touch one thing on shopping. So I mentioned that, everything's kind of dispersed as far as the shops go. You've got your liquor in one section. You've got your health and beauty in another section. If you're looking for like things you forgot or like some, toiletry items, they are located in the liquor store. There's a small little area with like toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo, conditioner.
They were there. Everything was there.
There was some select medications like Tylenol, Advil, Benadryl. There was stuff like that over
they were all
in that
there,
area.
And they were reasonably priced.
Yeah.
Why are they in the liquor store?
Yeah, they're in the corner of the liquor store. One thing that I will say is I like a bigger t-shirt. I like the cheesy t-shirts that Royal Caribbean usually sells like 2 for $20 at the end of the cruise. I know that might not be a thing anymore, but
and maybe it wasn't. We didn't find it.
There was one logo shop that sold Icon of the Seas items mostly. There was some Royal Caribbean stuff, but it was pretty small in comparison to some of the other stuff that we've seen on other ships. And basically everything.
Talking about the one down by Playmakers?
No, the one that right there in the middle of the promenade.
Okay. Yeah. I thought it was laid out well, though.
It was laid out well. There were pretty much no 3XL options. I found that a little bit disappointing.
Got a hoodie.
Because I do like a bigger oversized t-shirt, and that just wasn't an option. Now, I did go down to the other place that he's talking about in Playmakers. Next to Playmakers, there's a little shop that you walk through, and it had some Simply Southern options, and their shirts are a little bit more oversized, so the 2XL definitely fit me and fit me well.
But it's very small.
But there's not a lot there. So,
and you wouldn't know it's there unless you just happen to come up on it.
I'm the kind of person that I like to have t-shirts. I'm a t-shirt and leggings kind of girl, or, just loungy pants. So I like my t-shirts. And there wasn't a whole lot of options for someone a little fluffier in size. So I will say that.
While we're on that topic, Playmakers there was large.
It was large.
Odd location.
Yes.
Very
Talk about some accessibility issues because
not easy to get to, but
it's on deck 6 in the back, and you have to go through this little shop to get to Playmakers.
and then you have to go through
Playmakers to get to the ice show.
So I understand that, they got to do what you got to do sometimes, but that's kind of weird.
Yes. And we'll go ahead and touch on the Absolute Zero ice area. It's
well, while we're on Playmakers, we did not get a chance to do Playmakers, which it was high on my list to do and just did not make it because I love their wings.
Their wings are great.
But we didn't make it. But it was a large venue and it was busy.
It was busy.
Sports season, but it was busy.
Now, we debarked on...
playoff.
Or embarked on Saturday, and then Sunday they had the playoffs. The
Chiefs
AFC and the NFC championships were both on Sunday, right?
Yeah, and it was packed.
And when we were leaving the Elemental, they want to funnel you back through Playmakers. Now, we later found a different way to get out, but trying to get back through Playmakers when everyone and their brother is in there trying to watch the game and we're trying to get out, that was a little bit of a pinch point. I don't think it would be an issue if it hadn't been playoff time, but just be forewarned.
But there's always a sport going on, and there's always a game.
But it was standing room only in Playmakers at that point, and then you want to funnel a good 500 people back through Playmakers at the same time. Now, Absolute Zero by itself. We're going to get into some accessibility issues.
This right here is probably the biggest downfall of the entire
ship.
The entire ship layout
is accessibility.
Now, for me, did I have accessibility issues on this ship? No, I was fine.
No, your regular person. If you can traverse a flight or two of stairs, you're going to be fine. If you have mobility issues at all that prevent you from doing stairs, if you're in a wheelchair, if you need to use a scooter, if you're on any other sort of mobility assistive device, then
you can get there.
You're going to take
easy.
a little bit of extra planning. So when you go into Absolute Zero, the only way down is stairs. Except for to the right, there is a lift. The lift is small. It'll only hold about 4 people, maybe 1 scooter and 1 other person. So if you are needing to use that as your mode of transportation to get into, then you may have some wait time.
And arrive early.
You may need to get there early. If you are in Absolute Zero, now there are wheelchair accessibility areas at the top, so you do not have to always go down to get a seat. And there are companion chairs available, so don't worry about that. When you are coming and leaving, you will have to join the queue with everyone else to use that lift to go up to then go through a crowded Playmakers. However, there are 2 exits on either side that are marked with Royal Promenade. You can go out those doors. They are going to be left closed because they want the light to not come in on the performances. But you are able to go out those doors. It will take you directly to the walking track. The walking track will lead you into the promenade.
My question on this, though, and maybe you have an answer for this.
Okay.
I understand leaving them closed while the performance is going on. Why did they not immediately open these doors wide as soon as the show is over or before it begins? Because it almost was like they didn't want to let you out there.
It's almost like they didn't want to let you out there. And I definitely think they don't want you coming in there because they want to funnel everyone through that one area so that they can scan your card in. Because you do have to have reservations to get into there.
But they could easily put somebody at the other doors to scan you in as well. This is a small thing, again, that's fixable.
Yeah, I don't know.
Open these doors before the show and open them after and put people there.
And I don't
help people out.
I don't know. They may not want you going out these doors. I never had anybody there telling me I couldn't because I just went through the door, unlocked the main door, and went out to the walking track and went walking. And several people came with us. But I could see this maybe being an issue in the future where they don't want people going out there. They want everybody to go up. But why?
Yeah, why?
Why? If you can disperse the crowd, disperse the crowd. So
So
we'll just have to keep an eye on that one. Another issue with accessibility is going to be found at the hideaway. If you have any type of mobility issue, the only way to get to the hideaway is to go deck 16 to the back, and then you have to go down a flight of stairs to get to the hideaway. There is a lift, but it is out in the open.
you're going to have to find an employee.
You're going to have to find an employee to operate it. And actually, there's going to be two separate ones. You're going to have to take one down about 4 or 5 steps, and then you're going to have to go probably 20 more feet and get on another one that's going to go down another probably 14 or 15 stairs.
Just not good.
To get to the bottom. So
maybe they thought,
but they do have a lift to get in and out of the pool.
But maybe they thought nobody, elderly is going to be back here. I don't know. I mean,
not just elderly, anyone that has any issue.
Mobility issues. I didn't mean necessarily to say elderly. Sorry, don't cancel me. But no, I mean, but maybe they do think that this is going to be more of a young person's environment, and elderly people do tend to have the mobility issues more than other people.
They do. And
I'm not just talking about scooters. I'm talking about if you're on a walker, if you just have bad knees. I am.
If you've had a mishap, say a week before the cruise, and you fell and broke an ankle, and now you're on crutches, or
these are going to be hard areas.
These are going to be navigational nightmares for you.
Seems like
on every other ship, it's been, okay, well, I can't go up the stairs. It's just one floor up. So I'll just go use the elevator and get up there, and that's fine. Here, there's no elevator options. You have to use the lifts, which if you think of the commercials where somebody is sitting on a stair lift and just taking you down slowly. That's what these things are. They are eligible to have a whole wheelchair in them. But if you just have bad legs or bad knees or whatever, then you're just going to be, I don't know.
But why couldn't they design ramps that went around it in some way?
Yeah, a ramp or a special nook that you could go in to get to an elevator. I mean, something.
Yeah, a handicap only elevator, or an ADA elevator. There is some ADA issues on this ship.
Now they've compliance because they've got these open air lifts that are available.
But who wants to do that?
Who wants to do that on the open?
If you work with elderly people a lot in your regular job, one of the things that elderly people want is dignity.
Yes.
If you are forcing somebody to have to go get an employee, to get a key, to use a separate chairlift, you're sort of embarrassing that person.
Yeah.
So you're almost encouraging them not to use it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the whole.
I think
back here, I didn't see many people using any of these lifts, so I just think that they would probably just steer away from it.
Yeah, they would probably see and just be like, "Nah, I'm just not going to go there." That's unfortunate.
There was another issue in the Aquadome neighborhood where the Overlook is. You have the Aquadome Theater there. Well, beyond that, kind of the solarium type concept on some of the concepts on Oasis Class, etc. There's, again, stairs to get down to the main level, and no way, there's another lift. Now, this lift is a little more discreet, but still, you've got to find someone to come over to help you.
But I understand that, elevators are a cost, and you may not want to invest in that. Why couldn't you put right beside the stairs a zigzag ramp that did the same thing?
Yeah.
You could. There's no reason for it to be this way. In the hideaway in the back, why couldn't you have had a place where you could have drove forward and just made an L to the deck part of it? You could have. These are, elderly people cruise. Elderly people, mobility, not just elderly. I keep saying elderly, but mobility people. People who are in wheelchairs or scooters or walkers. They cruise a lot.
They do.
And they take their whole families with them.
And I think in a lot of aspects, this ship is just not going to be for them.
No, and I hate to say that because it is a wonderful ship. But I'm getting older, and I guess I'm sensitive to it because I'm probably going to be there soon. So maybe I'm sensitive to that. And we traveled with your parents. Your dad does have some mobility issues.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of things that he just... Getting up the stairs from Aqua the not Aqua, but the Absolute Zero was trying for him to get up those stairs.
So I just think Royal could have been a little more thoughtful in the
planning of the accessibility issues.
Maybe they will fix this on future ships.
Maybe. And this just may not be something that they're concerned about because their target audience for Icon is not older people with mobility issues or even people, period, with mobility issues.
But my thought on Icon was that it was supposed to be targeted towards everybody. There was supposed to be something for everybody.
It's targeted to families, and families have people that have issues.
Yeah, but families bring grandparents with them.
Yeah. You know, there's
and a lot of times the grandparents are the ones who spend the money
to get you where you want to be.
They pay for the families to go. I don't know about your grandparents, but you know, some of them.
Yeah. So there are accessibility problems throughout the ship.
That is probably the biggest
Yes.
for Icon for me was that there I saw things that could be issues.
One thing we haven't touched on that is a fantastic addition, and probably the last thing we'll talk about.
We're going to go through a list before we end, so.
Elevators.
Love the elevators.
Elevators. Every elevator across the world needs to be like these elevators.
I was skeptical before we went. I was like, these elevators are going to suck.
But no.
These are going to be a nightmare to deal.
You walk up.
Yeah.
You walk up to a screen and you pick the number where you want to go. Now, technically, you're supposed to hit that number for every person in your party so that the internal elevator can realize how many people are coming. But
nobody does that.
Nobody does that.
Nobody.
So you pick the number of the place you want to go. So deck 14, deck 15, whatever. And it'll give you a letter. That letter corresponds to an elevator. It'll light up. Elevator A, J, whatever. You go there. That elevator opens. It takes you to the floor. There's no buttons inside the elevator. No risk of some kid coming in and going, and pushing all the buttons. Fantastic idea. We never waited more than a couple of minutes for an elevator. There was only maybe once that an elevator came and it was full. We couldn't get on. Just perfect. Perfection. Love the elevator system. Touching on accessibility, there is a wheelchair button at the bottom of the panel. If you press that wheelchair button, it will give you two options. Are you going to floor X through X? Are you going to floor X through X? You pick that. A larger elevator will come. There are elevators specifically for handicapped, accessible, scooters, etc. Now you can just go up and get on with your scooter on any elevator. However, there are larger ones that can accommodate more people. So keep that in mind.
Elevator's brilliant.
Brilliant idea. 100%.
Okay. So
way to go. All right. So let's wrap this up.
This thing went long, but
these people are tired of hearing us talk.
But are they though? I mean, if you've not been on Icon and you are considering this ship,
then you really need to know the good, the bad, and the ugly.
So this video is Icon of the Seas, hit or miss. The good, the bad, the ugly, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So let's start at the beginning of our list here.
Okay.
And we're going to rank every single item on this list.
Okay.
On a scale from 1 to 10. And then we're going to end this video. I'm going to ask you what your good,
okay,
bad, and ugly is.
Okay.
So let's start embarkation. 1 to 10. 1 being 10 being great. Fantastic. Embarkation, where do you rank this ship? I agree. It was a 9.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Super easy. No problems.
Yep.
Number 2, debarkation. Don't want to do it.
Because I had to leave.
Yeah, 1, I don't want to do it. No, seriously.
No, seriously, in all seriousness, another 8.
Yeah, I mean, it was super easy for us.
Super easy.
So, yeah, I would say 8 as well.
Yep.
Ship layout.
Oh, gosh. Layout. I'll give it, just because of a few small things, I'll give it a 7.5.
I would give it an 8 on that as well. Most everything was easy to get to. So,
yep.
Your stateroom. Again, we can only give you our opinion on our stateroom because we did not have every stateroom category, which there are 16 different stateroom categories on this ship.
9.
Our stateroom,
9.
10.
Yeah.
10. The only downfall for me from our stateroom was the stateroom steward was not the best. He was okay. Dining.
Oh gosh, 10.
See, I would give dining a 9. Other than the main dining room issues we discussed, everything else was perfect.
I had no issues.
So I always was able to find something delicious to eat. So dining and El Loco Fresh. Hold on. I'm having a moment. Steak tacos.
Okay.
One caveat. Coco K. You screwed me out of my steak tacos this time.
Yeah, there were no steak tacos.
I only
on
had
Coco
chicken
K.
and pork, and I was kind of pissed off about it, to be quite frank with you. I was looking forward all week to Coco K having some steak tacos by the bay.
Thank goodness he got them on El Loco Fresh.
Yeah. El Loco Fresh, brilliant. Coco K, don't do it again. You're making me mad. Okay, moving on. Activities.
10.
10.
There was so much to do.
I would almost give it a 9 because there was too much to do.
Yeah.
So is it possible to deduct a point for you making me decide too many times between activities? Because literally it was like, oh, I want to go do that. I want to go do that. I want to go do that.
But I've got a show. Oh my God.
So that would be my only complaint about activities, not lack of stuff to do, that sometimes there was just too dang much.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which is a good problem, I guess. Shopping.
I mean, I'd give it like a 6.
Yeah, 6 for me as well.
Mostly because they didn't have any like larger shirts and stuff.
Well, I just didn't really see all
And
that.
it was just like icon. It was icon. There wasn't like a lot of just Royal Caribbean shirts and stuff. So.
Yeah. So again, they did sell a butt ton of jerseys, $150 a pop, and they good Lord, I can't tell you how many they sold. But shopping, 6 is for me. That's probably one of the worst part. Service overall,
8.
I see. Service overall for me was about a 9.
Yeah.
My only stateroom, steward, and that was my ports of call.
And this is basically just where we went, getting on and off, that type of stuff.
6.
I mean, I give it a 7.5.
I give it a 6. The ease of getting on and off, I give it a 10. Couldn't be any easier. The ports just didn't rock my world. And Coco K was cold, so we really couldn't enjoy it like we normally do. So for this trip, I give it a 6.
Okay.
Accessibility.
Yeah, that's going to get like a 4 or 5.
Yeah, accessibility for me, I'm going to give this ship a 3. With the caveat, if you have any mobility issues, even to get up to the water park, there were stairs. You could take an elevator, but the main way to get there was stairs.
Yeah, well, I mean, a water park, you're going to have to traverse stairs to even partake.
Right, but what if you were just a grandmother wanting to go watch your grandchild?
Yeah, that might be. It was very watery at the water park area, so there really wasn't an area to walk through where you weren't going to get like wet of some kind.
That's what I'm saying.
So if you were on a mobile device like a scooter or something, you really don't want to be traversing through the water. So probably
accessibility for me gets a 3. This ship is not made for you if you have accessibility issues.
Yeah,
there are a lot of other ships that'll better suit your needs, which is sad because this is probably the greatest ship on the ocean today.
100% agree with that statement.
All right, so I'm going to ask you now. Mm-hmm. You get one item.
Oh gosh.
I want to know what the good of Icon is for you.
Your options. You've got so many things to do, so many different places to be. It's all just and everything's so great that your options are the best thing on the cruise ship. Whether you want to go swimming, swimming's great. If you want to watch a show, the shows are great. If you want to do trivia, trivia is great. If you want to sing karaoke, karaoke's great. If you want to eat, eating is great. Everything's just wonderful. Your options are endless.
The good for me is the scope. I guess that's kind of the same thing you're saying.
Yeah.
The pure massiveness and size of this ship.
But yet
it's unbelievable.
It feels big, but at the same time it doesn't. It's like, I don't know how to explain that in a sense that makes sense.
It was iconic.
Oh, it was iconic.
I haven't used it the whole episode.
Okay.
Number 2, the bad. I think we're both going the same place here. It goes back to the accessibility issue.
The bad for me, it's really hard because yes, the accessibility is horrible, but that would be my ugly. Like if I had to pick something that was just overall the worst thing on this
the
ship,
bad, then. Just the bad.
then that's going to be that. I don't really know.
I've got the bad.
What the bad is. Maybe some of the layout, like the pinch point of not being able to get through playmakers, or the fact that you can't do everything, or that really for me for the bad is like there's so much to do that I can't.
You're gonna love this one.
Okay, go
The
for
bad.
it. The bad.
The price.
Oh,
We got a good deal. This ship, for all of its grandeur, all of its features, it is overpriced.
it's very expensive.
It is. It's just like a Disney cruise. I'm sure that they're fantastic. They're overpriced.
So I'll go ahead and tell you. I'll tell you
They're
what we paid. Okay, we got all
a deal.
in. We are all in with our royal up, considering our royal up from a balcony to an infinite ocean view balcony for 3 people. No discounts. This was a refundable rate, so we could have gotten fully refunded. We are all in at about $5,200.
And that's not counting on board spending.
No, that is just the stateroom, taxes, port fees,
Or my casino mishap.
etc. About $5,200. Now we spent more on the ship, of course, and we purchased Izumi. We purchased chops.
That was on ship spending. And excursions.
And we did 1 excursion, and so that was an
this is a
additional
pricey
cost.
trip.
But before we ever got on the ship, with just the room, just the cruise itself, we were all in at $5,200.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And that is not a lot compared to what some other people paid. We had people really close to us in the same kind of cabin that paid $10,000.
Well, I know a fellow YouTuber who just did 2 weeks back to back, and it was almost $15,000.
Yeah.
This is a lot of money, people.
This is an investment.
Yeah. Now, granted, I understand
it's the
the
best
brand new
vacation
toy.
we've ever had, though. Best vacation ever. And to give you some context, we cruised during the inaugural season of Harmony of the Seas.
For peanuts.
We cruised for a week, Harmony of the Seas, like maybe 6 weeks after it launched, in a junior suite for 3. And we paid $4,300 for that cruise. Now, that's 2017.
I could not buy a junior suite on this one.
No.
So, yeah, the price, yeah. That's
the price is up there. They are inflated.
all right.
It'll definitely go down some as it goes along, but yeah, I can see the price being bad.
That ultimate family room on the back was $100,000 a week, and they said they've now had it sold out for 54 straight weeks.
It's sold out for the entire year.
I am speaking to you out there right now. If you have $100,000 and you spend it on this room, you are an idiot. Sorry, I couldn't push the button.
You're what?
Bleep. Yep, there you go. Anybody that would spend $100,000 for, I don't care how much money you have. No, that's a house for some people, man. Come on.
It's pretty ridiculous.
You can do whatever you want with your money. That's just, never mind. Moving on.
So the ugly
is
accessibility all the way around.
2-3 stars out of 10. I mean, it's terrible. Especially for me, no. For anybody else that's got any kind of,
if I knew somebody that was handicapped and they needed accessibility, I would tell them not to go on this ship, just because it would be a pain. Yeah. Unless I knew their personality and they were easy and free people and they were able to adapt, maybe. But if you've got anybody with the slightest bit of hesitation, the slightest bit of anxiety about traveling as a handicapped person, don't do this.
Is there a different way to get there that we missed?
Yeah, let us know,
because maybe we're wrong. If anybody from a fellow YouTuber, Royal, or anybody just watching this or listening to this podcast, if there is another access point to either one of these things, let us know where we're wrong here, because we will gladly correct this. This is from our experience.
Yes.
I didn't see a way around it.
Yes.
So please let me know if I'm wrong.
I agree. Overall, this was the...
So yeah, well, let's end there. Overall,
This was the
Is Icon a hit or is Icon
it's
a
a
miss?
hit. It's 100% a hit.
I agree.
I would recommend that if it's in your budget that you need to go on this ship.
You're going to have good and bad in any trip that you ever take.
But there was way more good that outweighed the bad here.
Outweighed the bad tenfold.
Yes.
I had
the time of my life. I seriously did. There was so much to do. There were times where I was just sitting and I was just in awe of how freaking blessed I am to be doing
what
this
we do, yeah.
and to be on this ship.
It was
And
beautiful. The ship is beautiful. It is
breathtaking. The color.
It's big. It's comfortable. Comfortable is a good word.
Yeah.
It is a very comfortable ship.
Getting around, besides the accessibilities, just for our family.
If you don't have accessibility
oh my
issues, it's easy.
Yeah.
But it's
like Royal, and we were talking about this on the ship. It's like they took every single comment from every single survey ever done and compiled it all and made the perfect ship because it's just so good. It's so good.
So, Icon, a hit or a miss? I'd say it's a 100% a hit. It's the ship of dreams.
It is.
I hate to steal that, but we did not want to get off. We had and built up the anticipation for 14 months about this ship. Sometimes when you have that much anticipation, you're let down. I had 14 months of anticipation that was exceeded still. That's not an easy task to accomplish. Normally, when you build up that much hype, you're let down. Was not. It was absolutely 100% for me a hit.
Absolutely.
I would go back on it tomorrow without reservation. Can we?
Let's go.
So
I'm looking into booking Star of the Seas if anybody's interested.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we didn't, this video now is, congratulations. We've just made the longest podcast that we've ever made.
And nobody's listening at this point.
By pure accident. So whatever, that's fine. I'm making this for us more than anybody. 100% a hit. We didn't even talk on the YouTubers that we met on this show. And there was every YouTuber or content creator under the sun was on this boat. Most of them were very friendly and very cordial. Yeah. We didn't talk about, when you get on a boat, sometimes you get into the same routines. We do. We have we figure out what our daily habit is. You go eat here, then you go do this, then you go do this, and then you explore. And, we're big on karaoke and trivia, and we did that every day. We did the pool every day. But regardless of what your routine is, you'll find one. There's plenty. Mm-hmm. So it's a hit. The karaoke bar is fabulous, by the way.
It's a hit. Definitely a hit. Definitely holler at me if you think that Icon is something that you want to do, or even look at Star.
I'm trying to look at Star.
I've priced out fall break for us next year. Oh. And as a family of 3, it's about $3,800. So it's not out of the ordinary or, too much.
We will not be doing the inaugural on Star.
No. So,
what is the inaugural?
The inaugural is like $12,000 for 3 of us. It's not even an option.
Not unless it comes down between now and then drastically.
But 38, I could see us potentially doing.
38, yeah, that's reasonable.
So maybe we can get a group of us together and let's all go and just have a fun time.
Who wants to go?
So I'm all for it. Holler at me and we'll get this ball rolling.
Thank you for listening.
If you're listening.
If you didn't turn off.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave us a review and
tell us what you think.
Tell us what you think.
Tell us where we're wrong on any of this.
And until next time, friends, we'll see you later.
See ya.
Bye.